Good day everyone. I hope that while watching this video, you're all safe. By the way, I am Lourdes Saclolo, and together with me is Rica Lorizeth Generoso, and today we're here to report the first lesson of art appreciation, which is art history. So in this presentation, I'll be discussing the first part, which centers art history until the assumptions of art, while the understanding and categories of arts will be discussed later on by my partner, Rica Generoso. So what is art? For some people, art is just a drawing, painting, or calligraphies. But let me widen your knowledge. Art is not just those things, because art comes in many forms. Art is something that is perennially around us. Some people may deny having to do with arts, but it is indisputable that life presents us with many forms and opportunities for communion with the arts. Some people may say that I am not into arts, I am not good with arts, nor I'm not artistic, etc. But wrong, because we are all engaged into arts. To state an example, just by picking your favorite color of shirt or picking what shoes to wear is already an art. Even you or me is already an art. Art is creative self-expression, and the people who create these things are all expressing themselves, be it by building things, drawing, writing, singing, or anything. All of the things you can see in everyday life are art. Before we go any further, let me present to you the general target or the objective of this lesson. So at the end of the lesson, the student must have characterized artistic expression based on personal experiences with art, differentiated art history from art appreciation, discussed the nature of art's preliminary expression, clarified misconceptions about art, differentiated art from nature, categorized work of art by citing personal experiences, and characterized the assumptions of art. Turn to the first part of my talk, which is about what is art history. Art history is not just a collection of all the art trends and dates in a timeline, but it is the study of art items concerning their period. Art historians investigate the meaning of visual arts, such as architecture, painting, and sculpture at the period of their creation. Another of art history's mission is to determine the authorial roots of artworks, which entails determining who made a particular artwork, when, and why. Iconography is a significant component of the history of art. It involves delving into the symbolism of artworks. Art historians, for example, recognize and analyze the visual aspects of a painting. Art historians are fascinated by what artworks signified at the time of their creation. It is a method of learning about ancient civilizations. Turning our attention now to why is art history important? Why study art history when there are many other careers to pursue? Well, if we consider the discipline differently from a career standpoint, we realize that it serves fundamental purposes. Like in understanding cultures, visual art recounts stories of our past. It gives an account of past events. Art history allows us to look back and understand how our civilizations evolved over the centuries. It can also develop critical thinking. Studying art history is really not about memorizing dates, artist names, art movements, etc. Instead, it drives you to analyze paintings, photographs, sculptures, and so on. Studying the art of the past teaches us how people have seen themselves and the world, and how they want to show this to others. Art history provides a means by which we can understand our human past and its relationship to our present, because the act of making art is one of humanity's most ubiquitous activities. Next, we have art appreciation. Art appreciation centers on the ability to view art throughout history, focusing on the cultures and the people and how art developed in the specific periods. It is difficult to understand art without understanding the culture, their use of materials, and the sense of beauty. Art appreciation, however, refers to the exploration and analysis of the art forms that we are exposed to. It can be highly subjective depending on an individual's personal tastes and preferences, or can be done on the basis of several grounds such as elements of design and mastery displayed in the piece. Next, we have creativity. Creativity is the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. It involves two processes: thinking, then producing. If you have ideas but don't act on them, you're imaginative but not creative. Creativity, as according to Maria Popova in Brain Pickings, creativity is a combinational force. It's our ability to tap into our inner pool of resources: knowledge, insight, information, inspiration, and all the fragments populating our minds that we've accumulated over the years just by being present and alive and awake to the world, and to combine them in extraordinary new ways. Next, we have imagination. Imagination is the ability to produce and simulate novel objects, peoples, and ideas into mind without any immediate input of the senses. Imagination is often used colloquially to refer to the ability to think creatively by dreaming up novel scenarios, fantastical stories, and visual representations. For example, when a person contemplates the smell and taste of a lemon without either seeing or tasting the fruit, he or she is engaging in imagination. And now we have expression. It is an act, process, or instance of representing in a medium such as words, utterance, or freedom of expression. Also, it is something that manifests, embodies, or symbolizes something else. So, in simple words, it is the process of making known one's thoughts or feelings, or a look on someone's face that conveys a particular emotion, just like when we're happy, when we're sad, and we're getting emotional, and so on. Now, let's move on to the assumptions of art. Humanities and the art have always been part of man's growth and civilization. Since the dawn of time, man has always tried to express his innermost thoughts and feelings about reality through creating art. There are three assumptions of art, and accordingly, art is universal, not nature, and involves experience. Art has been crafted by people regardless of origin, time, place, and it stayed on because it is liked and enjoyed by people continuously. It is present in every part of the globe and in every period of time. Just like, for example, if you're familiar with Ibong Adarna or Florante and Laura, these are example of written arts that has been passed through generation. So it means it has been used and enjoyed by everyone, and that is the purpose of art. We do not use art just for nothing. Do you guys agree? Alright, so let's move on to the next assumption, which is art is not nature. So what does that mean? Art is man's expression of his reception of nature. It is man's way of interpreting nature. Thus, claiming that wood is a art or that the ocean is art is incorrect. The right statement is that anything created by man qualifies as art. As I previously stated, even you and I are works of art as we are man-made and are created by our parents. So again, art is not nature. It is made by man, whereas nature is given around us. Therefore, everything that is made by man can be considered an art. And anything that is not made by man, then that is not considered as art. In addition, it is also based on individual subjective experience in nature. Like when you go on hiking, for example, and you saw beautiful wood and you really like it, you made a poem, drawing, or painting out of it. So that is the creative way of creating and appreciating art. Moving on to the last assumption of art, which is art involves experience. Art is by experience, meaning actual doing of something. Like for example, Mom Rica gave us a task by assigning us a report. So we made the presentation. So this could be considered an art because this is not the first time that we did a presentation. We've done it previously and have a lot of experience with it. Without experience, there is no art. The artist has to be foremost a perceiver who is directly in touch with art. So that ends my discussion here. Later on, we will have a wider knowledge of understanding the arts and the categories of arts that will be discussed by my presentation partner, which is Rica, Lorizeth, Generoso. Thank you.
Understanding the arts. An introduction to the humanities provide the following definition of art. Art as a skill or mastery. The term art is used to simply refer to by skill or mastery that is manifested in the outstanding product of an endeavor. Art as a process or a product of a creative skill. Art is a process because it involves arranging the aesthetic elements in an artistically interesting and appealing manner. Art as a process or a product of creative skill. Art is a product because it includes human creations, different activities, and manners of expression. Art as a universal language. The language of art is diverse. Each art form has its own artistic elements, literature, music, theater. Art expresses feelings and ideas shared by all individuals regardless of culture. Art shows the manner of existence of the people of long ago. We gain awareness that the people during the Old Stone Age lived in caves and that they manifested their artistry by drawings and sketching. For categories of arts, we have visual arts, performing arts, digital arts, applied arts. First categories of arts is visual arts. First, painting, the application of pigment on any flat two-dimensional surface. Painting is to let your emotion out and so that you can have it as a hobby also. You can express your feelings and emotions in painting and it would make you feel better. Second, sculpture. It is the carving, modeling, casting, constructing, and assembling of materials and objects into primarily dimensional works of art. Sculpture is the art of making forms and figures in clay or other materials or a product of such an art. Lastly, architecture. It is the art and science of planning, designing, and constructing buildings and non-building structures for human shelter or use. A wider definition often includes the design of the total built environment from the macro level of town planning, urban design, and landscape architecture to the micro level of construction, details, and sometimes furniture. Second categories of arts is performing arts. First, music is a form and cultural activity whose medium is sound organized in time. Music is a form of art, an expression of emotion through harmonic frequencies. When we are depressed, sad, or unhappy, it's the music that makes us feel better. Second, dance is the movement of the body in a rhythmic way, usually to music and within the given space for the purpose of expressing an idea or emotion. For the purpose of expressing an idea or emotion, releasing energy, or simply taking delight in the movement itself. Third, film, also called movie or motion picture, is a series of still images that when shown on a screen creates an illusion of moving images. The movie itself is a film, and you can also use the word to mean the photographic strip through a camera and captures the film's image. Fourth, theater is a collaborative form of art that uses live performers, typically actors or actresses, to present the experience of a real or imagined event before a live audience in a specific place, often a stage. Theater is a place where we can watch. It is somehow a cinema, although it is a place where live shows like musically operas and etc. Fifth, Literary, concentrating the writing, study, or content of literature, specifically of the kind valued for quality of form. Literary can also mean imaginative or creative writing, which is looked at for its artistic value. And lastly, performance poetry is a poetry that is specifically composed for during a performance before an audience rather than print distribution, mostly open to improvisation. Poetry literature that evokes a concentrated imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response, although language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sounds, and rhythm. Third categories of arts is digital arts. It can be made using a wide variety of illustration, painting, and photography computer programs. Digital art is an artistic work or practice that uses digital technology as a part of the creative or presentation process. Fourth categories of art is applied arts. It is a broad subject area that combines aesthetic design, consumer need in finding practical solutions to problems. First, fashion design. It is the art of applying design, aesthetic, and natural beauty to clothing and accessories. Fashion, it is also a way to express yourself. It provides us with a creative outlet that you can constantly change and improve. Second, furniture design. It is a specialized field where functions and fashion collide. Furniture can be made using a variety of woodworking joints which often reflect the local culture. Third, interior design. It is enhancing the interior of a building to achieve a healthier and more aesthetically pleasing environment for the people using space. Interior design concept is a visual theme that evokes a specific mood by strategically using color, space, and style. And lastly, graphic design combine words, images, and symbols to create a visual representation of ideas. Graphic design is a craft where professionals create visual content to communicate messages. That concludes our report about art history. Again, this is Rica, Generoso, and together with me is Lourdes, Saclolo, and we are the reporter of this lesson. We hope that you have learned something from our discussion. Thank you and have a nice day. Stay safe, everyone. God bless.